Hi everyone. Okay, let's just see what the person on your mind the most is hiding from you. What are they hiding? Their feelings, please. One card. I want to make things right. Okay, so that's the overall energy. We've got someone who wants to make things right with you. Bottom of the deck. I have been working on myself. I've had a bit of that recently. Did a video. I can't think which one now. It's my age, you know. But I've had a lot of that. People are just starting to wake up a little bit. Let's just have one more. I don't know how to handle my emotions. Right. Were you dealing with somebody who is a bit volatile, I'm hearing? Okay, so I'm going to look into that a little bit deeper. I'm going to give these a shuffle and go a little bit, you know, just more precise messages. And then I'm going to look at the energy around your person, okay? Any other messages that come out, the environment, and also what you should do in this situation. I am hearing the word volatility. Okay, so take what resonates. Anyway, like I said, welcome back. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for watching. All your likes, your comments. I do read all my comments. If you'd like a reading, just click on the title of the video. The links are in the description box to the website. Everything's on the website. And also check out the free relationship report as well. And if you're new here and you want to see any more, I'm going to take that one, content, just subscribe, hit the notification bell. That'd be brilliant. Your support is amazing. Thank you. Sitting, you know, watching me witter on. Right, let's see, eh? Why am I getting volatility? Keeley, why are you getting volatility? I don't know. We'll see. I love you unconditionally. They didn't show it though, did they? No. Bit of a temper. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. Okay. I knew exactly what I was doing. Right, yeah, you've got somebody who's emotionally immature. And that can manifest in a variety of ways. You know, some people, if their emotions get the better of them, they can't process it, they can give you the silent treatment, or they will just start an argument for the sake of the argument. That's what I'm hearing. Start an argument for the sake of the argument, so that they can walk away and make out like you're the crazy one, and then they're the victim, okay? But I'm not getting that this person's a particularly toxically, you know, person. They're just emotionally immature. I think they grew up with a lot of shouting, okay? I think their parents, that's what I'm hearing, the parents were immature. There was a lot of arguing, there was a lot of shouting, and within the caregiver environment I've got passive aggressive behaviour, okay? I think your person just used to either lose their temper or start an argument. Okay, let's see what's going on in their environment. Because they still love you, they're still in love with you, okay? That's no doubt there. You know why I don't feel they're a complete toxic mess? Because they've recognised that it was hard to let you go. Now, somebody who is truly, you know, has no accountability wouldn't recognise that. They would think that they'd done nothing wrong, period. You know, there's not even a glimmer of somebody like that thinking, well, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have actually, you know, shouted and bawled and screamed. But your person knows. But they knew what they were doing, okay? They knew what they were doing. They created such a kerfuffle, such a scene, that they had an exit strategy, okay? But I think this person's frightened at times of their own temper. I'm not saying they were, you know, abusive, but they've got a short fuse. They think they're right. They're very egotistical, very stuck in their ego. Okay, and they like to be admired. This person likes to be admired. They like to be looked at. They like to be seen as successful. And by that, it doesn't matter what job or whatever they're doing, but they like to be seen to be a little bit better than other people. Okay, a little bit better than other people. And I feel when you challenge this person, they were very much in their ego, my way or the highway, but they resorted to, like I say, creating a scene so that their, I say reputation wouldn't be tarnished, but I'm hearing that they wouldn't be tarred with a reputation of being argumentative. I think your person's a little bit passive aggressive. You know, they've got this passive aggressive energy. Right, environment, please. Yeah, they've come out. Well, in their environment, they are trying to hold on to some structure, but with this card, the Emperor, there's a person, someone with the energy of the Emperor, who is literally my way or the highway. They like to control. And you know, the Emperor is the Emperor. They sit on their throne and they think they know best. They can be very inflexible. Okay, very, very inflexible. They're quite authoritarian. But also, because I'm reading it in the position of the environment, I feel that it was a father figure who might have been could have been the passive one. But there's some pattern here with the father's way of dealing with things that your person has taken on. Okay, possibly the father abused their power, or they were very rigid. All right, or they could have just had an absentee father. Okay, but within their environment right now, I feel that they're just trying to maintain some form of control over something. I feel it's their emotions, you know. I feel it's their emotions, because this card, I don't know how to handle my emotions. Sometimes people, if they don't know how to handle their emotions, they will adopt a different persona, or they will literally shut down, or they'll become very rigid, very unapproachable, because they're frightened. They're frightened that if they just open that door a little bit to the past, then the whole floodgates will open. You know, and I think we've all done it to some extent, that sometimes we don't want to think about something, or we don't want to face something, so we'll do something else. Say there's something bothering us and we don't want to do it, so just for an example, we'll go and watch, you know, I don't know, 25 episodes of something on Netflix, or we'll scroll, or we'll be on our phones. We'll do something so we don't have to sit with the pain or sit with the realization that something needs healing. Okay, so what your person does to try and keep their temper under control is they try and maintain a very structured, orderly, rigid environment. Okay, that is their coping mechanism. But the energy they're in right now, when you see this reading, is they're finding it difficult to handle these emotions. Because what's happened is, since you've been apart, they've realised they miss you, they love you, you know, they want to be with you. So they're finding it more and more difficult to keep up the persona of that person they created to manage their life. Okay? There's a really difficult... You could be dealing with an Aries, or you could be Aries, this Aryan energy. Yeah, within the environment, this heartbreak, the Three of Swords. Okay, now they could have gone to a third party, but as in, you know, as an energy, they're feeling heartbroken. They're lonely. They've got a, they're very unhappy. But what they've really got going down is they've got a conflict between the heartbreak, the grief and the loneliness, and all those emotions that are bubbling up because they've kept their emotions under wrap for so long. And if you try to talk about it to them, they just get angry. But now, because you've been apart for a while, I'm hearing, they can't keep this up, this persona up. They've got this half of them where the emotions is like just sort of cauldron, like it's all just bubbling, okay? But bits of it are spitting over, but then they keep trying to put the lid on it, okay? But eventually, as you know, it will just all bubble. It will just all bubble over. But they're heartbroken. They're absolutely heartbroken. Yeah, their attitude with you was, you know, the winner takes it all. You know, they were spiteful. They could have been quite aggressive, a bully, lack of communication. I think theirs was just anger. But they're feeling quite defeated at the moment, okay? They're feeling quite defeated. But they're going to move away from that Six of Swords. They're going to leave the environment they're in, okay? They're sick of running, though. They are sick of running from their emotions. Because they've realised that they love you unconditionally, and they've got to face it. They've got to face these fears, okay? They've got to face these fears. But just as a specific card with a specific message, I would say that they're leaving this behind, okay? But they know they have got to deal with their childhood issues. And you know, tarot throws up a lot of energy that's related to childhood within relationships, because we've all got our attachment styles, all of us, how we, you know, sort of people that we go for, the sort of people that we want to be with, how we react in a relationship, how we love, okay? We've all got it, and it'll all come from childhood and the early formative years. You know, your brain is in, I think it's theta till you're 7. You're just soaking everything up like a sponge. So your person was in this environment where they're watching. You know, the father figure was very strong-willed, quite authoritarian, okay? Could have even been a bit of a bully. But there was a lot of noise in that house. There was a lot of noise. And it became learned behaviour. You know, if you watch something enough and it's repeated enough, and you're young enough, that is what you think it's all about, unless you make the conscious decision to break it. Okay? Let's just see what else they'd like to say. We've also got air energy as well, so Aries, and specifically Aquarius, and also Libra. Aquarius, Libra and Aries energy. What else would they like to say? What are they hiding? They're hiding their ego, self-centered, yeah. That is it, they've hidden behind that ego. It's to protect themselves. It's such a shame, you know, especially now I'm a lot older. You know, and you realise all these beliefs that we have and all this baggage and all these ways of doing things, they weren't even ours to begin with. You know, they could be the family you grow up in, the generation before that. And it affects every facet of our lives, whether it be our relationships or our career. You know, we can not have any confidence and all have, you know, imposter syndrome. But that's what's going on here. That's what's happened here. You know, in a nutshell, somebody grew up in a relationship with parents where there was just a lot of arguing, a lot of noise, and a quite a hard-faced father. Quite a hard-faced father. Bottom of deck, the other woman. Heartbreak. Anger. Can you give me anything on this other woman, please? What's that about? But anger, yeah. That's the only card in this deck that says that, anger, okay. Got a lot of anger. You often see this, people don't... I think it's because society portrays this image of family should be perfect. And, you know, we watch all the adverts, don't we? And we get fed all the films. And everyone, not everyone, but there's this thing of, you know, families stick together through thick and thin. And you know, your person was in a beautiful relationship with you, but instead of facing their issues and all their crap and getting their emotions under control, somebody lashed out at you instead. Okay, somebody lashed out at you. And the possibility, going right back when I said I felt that they created a situation so that they knew what they were doing. Okay, they could have got themselves involved with another person, but they didn't want to take the blame for that. They wanted to make out that they were the victim, okay, and that, you know, poor me, woe is me. Seven of Swords I've just seen, and the Nine of Cups. It's all right, I'm just looking at that. With the other woman, yeah, basically, your person became somebody who just wanted all their needs satisfied. The Nine of Cups is a great card, but in love, in the excess or in the negative, it can mean that somebody just wants, they're only happy as long as they're getting their needs met, okay? So with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Cups, you know, your person was being deceitful, was lying, and was literally, would have sold this, you know, sold the boat down the river to make sure that their reputation wasn't tarnished. And they were only interested in their own needs. Now, they knew what they were doing. Okay, now they've recognised it, but they knew what they were doing. They did not want to come out of this situation, especially if this other woman was in this, or other person, male or female, or however you identify. They didn't want to come out with mud on their face. They wanted to come out squeaky clean. Look at me, this wasn't my fault. Okay? This wasn't my fault. But they're not happy with the other woman now. Four of Cups. Okay? They're bored. It's a general reading, but they're just bored. They're not emotionally connected. They're not interested in what this other person's got to offer anymore, okay? What they are interested in is the past and the happiness that you shared. Okay. Are they going to do anything, please? Are they coming back in? Biting their tongue. Are they going to move? Are they going to do anything? Yeah, I feel they will do. Yeah. At the moment, the energy, what they're doing is they're just going to bite their tongue. They're going to keep it all under wraps. But I do feel they will come back in. Okay. You're going to be happy whatever happens though. You've got a new confidence. You've really starting to see who you are. Okay. You're going to be socialising more. You're going to be going out a lot more, meeting new people. And for some of you watching this, you've healed. Okay, you found the strength to move on. You've made peace with it. And you're actually very magnetic at the moment. You've got your eye on the future, okay? You've got your eye on your own stability. You could be working towards building your own stability, your own home, just your own nest, okay? Whatever it is. And that's coming for you. Okay, now with regards to your person, yeah, they probably will come back in and offer you the Ten of Pentacles. That's what they're going to say. They're offering you stability, you know, a long-term future. Okay, but I think you've got your eye on your own Ten of Pentacles. I think you've got your eye on yourself now. And I'm just hearing that there's someone watching this who is almost saying to me whilst they're hearing me, I'll never want to be dependent on that person again. I'm building my own life now. Okay? Building my own life now. Yeah, because this person messed you around. They didn't, you know, their attention was elsewhere, obviously. And I think you're looking for a new beginning. Okay? Can I just have one more card on the past person? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Give me anything else. Yeah. They're going to come back in. Oh, wow, right. This is more about your energy, this outcome. They're going to come back in and say that they've left the situation they're in, okay? And they are going to apologise and they're going to try and balance things out with you. But I think for you, it possibly could be too late. Now, you can bring this person back in. You know, if you watch me regularly, you know what I mean by that. You can bring this person back in if that's what you want. But I feel that whoever this is for today, you're not going to be interested. You're going to be quite cold towards this. You're going to be quite cold towards it, okay? Some of you could have even been divorced, or there had to be a legal separation or a legal division of assets. I don't honestly think, it doesn't sound very nice, but it's what I'm hearing, that you care less. I don't think you could care less at the moment. I think you've got one eye on the future. I think you're highly magnetic at the moment. Your confidence is building. You're starting to glow. You're in your glow up. Even if you don't feel like it every day, you're having more good days than you are bad days now, which is absolutely amazing for you. And I just don't see you accepting this offer. Because, you know, going right back, the Page of Cups can be an energy of somebody, because it's a page, okay, of somebody who is emotionally immature. So they don't get their own way, they will sulk, or you'll get the silent treatment, or they just emotionally immature, okay. And we've got this one, I don't know how to handle my emotions. So quite a mixed bag there for you, but you know, you get to choose. You get to choose. I just want a card for you. What to do, what to do. What are you doing? Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. I think you're disconnecting from this person. I really do. Yeah, some of you are going on holiday, or some of you are going to meet somebody else on a holiday, or else you're travelling, okay? There's going to be somebody else, or any of you are actually going on a retreat, or somebody's watching this, planning a vacation. It could just be a few days away, just to get some rest. But you're going to meet somebody else who's going to want you to take a chance on them, and they're going to develop romantic feelings for you. Before I wrap this up really quickly, you're being asked to listen to what somebody new has to say, and that the feelings they have for you might be worth exploring, okay? They might be worth exploring. So I'll leave that with you. I think with your past person, it is sort of saying just retreat. You know, put yourself first, put yourself first, your own needs, your own wishes, and your own desires, because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. And I know it's really difficult if somebody's lost their temper with you and you know, they manipulated you, they knew what they were doing, and you have to pick up those pieces of A, the relationship ending, and then B, knowing that they did it all on purpose. And then sometimes you find out that people who should have supported you weren't supporting you. You've had to be really, really strong, okay? Open your heart though. Like I say, give somebody new. There's somebody new. Give them a chance. You don't have to go all in. Just go on a few dates. Go out. Socialise with this person a little bit. Flirt. It doesn't have to be the be all and end all. But I feel for you, it'll really, because you're glowing up, it'll just give you a real confidence boost. Okay? It'll make you smile. Anyway, I'll leave it with you. I love you all so much. Take care. Bye.